The intention for this video is to give you guys an update on what's going on in the world of AI. Things move very, very fast, and what was new and new news, fresh news back in 2017 is now old news. New technology businesses have been started. We've seen massive jumps in adoption of other technologies. Businesses have moved from thinking about AI to doing pilots in AI. The early adopters have now deployed AI at the core of their business. And what we're seeing is a big shift in activity. So people have gone from, okay, are we going to experiment, to actually, what are the use cases, how much money can we make, what staff do we need, and how can we actually accelerate this as much as possible. So the main intention today is just to share some updated stats based on the Seldon research team, aka Joel, Sandy, Alex, our CEO. So we've got some really cool stats to share with you. I think, Joel, what kind of, so on the research you've been doing recently, what new stats have you heard about around AI?
So we've actually recently done out a really interesting survey with over 3,000 AI-aware executives. That's across 10 different countries and 14 different sectors, so really getting a huge range of different CEOs. And out of all of them, only 20% of them are actually adapting and using AI solutions within core areas of their business.
Yeah.
So this shows that there's still just a huge range for AI to grow once it gets accepted across all industries.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of limitations that we still need to overcome to do this, such as regulatory limitations, social acceptance, and also, of course, data limitations, acquiring all sorts of data to actually train machine learning models and improve the AI industry as a whole.
Yeah, and at that point, selling AI myself, I come across that blocker all the time. Companies, they're like, Andy, we want to do some AI, and then you drill down, the data's not extracted, it's not in a machine readable format. So guys, get that data sorted. Sorry, Joel, that was a bit of a rant there.
Go for it. But yeah, on the data point as well, we're actually really surprised. So despite the recent GDPR, so initially everyone thought there was going to be huge limitations and that's going to impact the AI industry massively. But despite that, the public and social sector are still expected to increase by $300 to $400 billion due to the use of AI.
Nice.
Banking as well. That's another, of course, in fintech, we're always interested in the banking industry. So with the incorporation of AI, that as well is expected to increase by 2 to 5% with AI solutions and machine learning.
Is that what, revenues?
Revenue, yeah.
Damn.
So that will be another $200 to $300 billion in revenue due to the introduction of AI.
Nice. I mean, when you hear about the uplift as a percentage of total revenue of an industry, that is significant. Like Sandy, have you been finding out similar stats or other industries? Tell us.
So from the stats, we kind of we estimated in 2016 actually that there'll be a 1 to 9% increase in revenue, and that was just the estimate in 2016. So
what industry is that?
That's just across 19 industries. So if you put that into actual figures, so using neural networks, we estimated that you can have a $3 to $5.8 trillion.
$trillion.
Yeah, so that's across 19 industries. So if you put it into different industries that, just for instance, looking at, let's say, marketing and sales, that's a $2.6 trillion in revenue. And just looking at a different one, let's say supply chain, manufacturing, it'll be a $2 trillion revenue. So it's quite huge figures there.
Wow. Okay, so we've talked very macro, high-level uplifts and stats around AI. Let's just drill down a little bit on one particular sector, and we can drill down a bit more on, the type of technology that's being used, and then finding out, based on the different technologies being used in that sector for machine learning, what budget will that industry actually need or be spending on that technology. So the example I'm going to give is banks. There's around 25,000 banks in the world.
Yeah.
The global IT budget for banking is $519 billion in 2018. 26% of those banks are classed as early adopters of AI, i.e. they've got either initial implementations live in orchestration or broad implementations live deployed. And of those 26% of those banks which are using AI, 15%, they're spending 15% of their IT budget on machine learning. So that equates to just over $20 billion budget for banks using AI on machine learning. So if we go a little bit deeper, given that there's 52% of those banks actually have machine learning deployed in orchestration, 71% adoption rate of Kubernetes. So what you can do is you can actually work out what is the actual budget for machine learning for Kubernetes users within those banks, and that actually works out to be 7.47 billion. Like, naturally, being a machine learning deployment company, we then work out, okay, so the Kubernetes users that have deployed AI in the banking world, if they're spending $7.47 billion on machine learning, their budget in 2018, what percentage of that will be spent on machine learning deployment infrastructure? And we've kind of guesstimated around 5% will be spent. So that works out to be over $1.38 million of budget to be spent in 2018 on machine learning deployment infrastructure per bank. Naturally, if a bank is a big global bank, that's probably going to be about 10 million on deployment infrastructure. But I think it's really good to work out if you're an AI company watching, work out what are the key technologies your clients need to be using to really use your technology to its best ability, and then you can work out what budget should they or will they have available, or should they be making available, to spend with you. And it will actually help the executives at the bank or the retail business justify the cost to your service even more. Have we got anything else to add, guys? No? Okay, well look, we're here working really hard on a rooftop. We've got a nice pool behind us, and I'm a little bit concerned that Joel's going to push me in right now. But the great thing is Sandy's at my side with a float above her, which I have no doubt she will throw it to me if I'm drowning in the pool. But from
can't promise anything, Andy.
Can't promise anything.
Get it off.
Oh shit, we've obviously got a good relationship going. But look, thanks very much, guys. Joel.
See you soon, guys. Cheers.